Hello gamers! Here's a new game for you to explore and enjoy. Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2 is an action-adventure game developed by Ninja Theory and published by Xbox Game Studios. It's the sequel to Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice and is set in 9th century Iceland, drawing inspiration from Norse mythology and culture. The game was released on May 21, 2024 for Windows and Xbox Series XS. The game features a broader array of enemies, each with unique attack patterns and tactics. It also introduces dynamic weather systems and realistic physics, affecting both combat and exploration. The psychological horror elements from the previous game are retained, with Senua's psychosis and the voices that accompany her serving as a guide and a challenge. The game's protagonist, Senua, returns following her journey to the realm of Hell, seeking vengeance against Viking raiders who inflicted devastating losses on her people in Orkney. The development team, Ninja Theory, has expanded from about 20 to 100 members, with around 80 working on Senua's Saga. The studio, inspired by the beauty of Iceland, decided to make it the game's main setting. They aimed to write a story that could be compared to ancient myths and sagas. To accurately depict psychosis, they consulted with Paul Fletcher, a professor at Cambridge University, and individuals experiencing the disorder. The developers have shifted the emphasis from portraying Senua's internal battle with insanity to examining how she interacts with the outside world. They used motion capture technology, martial arts, and fencing techniques to develop a unique fighting style for Senua. The animators underwent military training to accurately mimic the movements of opponent characters. The psychosis-affected lead emerges after a shipwreck, marking the beginning of a 6-hour journey through the human realm of Midgard. The game features intense encounters with towering terrors and delves into Senua's struggles with self-doubt and psychosis. Despite the streamlined sword fighting, the game offers a brutal and enthralling heroine's journey. The story takes place shortly after the original Hellblade, with Senua now empowered by her psychosis. However, Survivor's guilt from a wrecked slave ship rekindles her inner demons, leading to a tortured path towards battling both inner and outer monsters. Senua is joined by a few human companions, including a shackled slave master and a settler she saves from a sacrificial altar. These characters, while not developed deeply, add variety to the journey. The game's visuals are impressive with a broader color palette than the original, contrasting darker moments with peaceful landscapes and vivid auroras. The binaural audio design is also noteworthy, with swirling voices in Senua's head providing intrigue and confusion. The combat system has changed from the original. While the fighting remains fierce and fluid, the streamlined sword fighting lacks the depth of the first game. The slow-motion focus ability is available from the start, and no new attack-altering abilities are introduced. Despite this, the combat encounters are consistently challenging and thrilling, with new enemy types adding variety. The game's story and combat make it a satisfying and enthralling journey. The primary inspiration for the battle system was the fight choreography featured in the Battle of the Bastards episode from Game of Thrones. The developers focused on in-person combat, aiming to make it feel urgent, unpredictable, and immersive. Senua's Saga was developed using Unreal Engine 5, allowing for improved character models, animations, and other visual components, as well as better utilization of the Xbox Series XS console. The studio employed Epic Games' MetaHuman framework for facial animations and collaborated with 3Lateral and Ziva Dynamics for motion capture and visual effects. The developers used satellite data and 3D reproductions to reconstruct the Icelandic landscape from the 9th century. They also replicated audio hallucinations using the binaural recording approach, as in the previous game. The studio partnered with Heilung for the soundtrack, believing that their music style aligns perfectly with the game's atmosphere. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2 was announced during the Game Awards 2019 and was released on May 21, 2024, for Microsoft Windows and Xbox Series XS. It is available on the Xbox Cloud Gaming Service and the Xbox Gamepass subscription service on the day of release. The game received positive reviews, with critics praising the combat system, visuals, and the depiction of Senua's character development. The developers' commitment to historical authenticity, the improved representation of psychosis, and the immersive storytelling were also highlighted as strengths. In summary, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is a well-crafted sequel that builds upon its predecessor by offering an engaging and atmospheric action-adventure experience. It combines compelling storytelling, an immersive combat system, and a commitment to historical accuracy and authentic representation of psychosis to create a captivating and memorable game. Now that you know more about this amazing game, you can use the links in the description of this video to get your copy.